The force of the push was sudden and brutally efficient. 1 minute I, Elinor**, was standing on the third step of the main staircase of my own home, holding a vase of flowers I'd picked from the garden, and the next I was tumbling. The air rushed out of my lungs in a desperate gasp as my hip slammed first into the mahogany banister, and then into the unforgiving marble floor of the foyer. It wasn't the searing, dizzying pain that shattered my world, though. It was the sound that followed. It was the laughter**. My daughter, Vivian**, who had shoved me, was doubled over at the top of the stairs, clutching her stomach, wheezing with pure, vicious amusement. And she wasn't alone. Standing right behind her were my in-laws, Martha**, and George**, my husband, David's**, parents, who had lived rent-free in our guest cottage for 3 years. They weren't laughing as loudly as Vivian, but their faces were stretched in cruel, smug smirks, their eyes glinting with a sickening, silent approval. I lay there, a broken woman surrounded by broken flower petals, realizing the shocking truth. This wasn't an accident. This was a **, public, physical assault **, executed with the full, poisonous consent of my husband's entire family unit. The core conflict landed right there in the searing agony of my hip. Do I, Elinor, a successful, independent woman who has always put family first, call the police on my own 26-year-old daughter for battery and domestic abuse, thereby guaranteeing her immediate arrest, permanent incarceration, and the utter, final destruction of my marriage to David, who was conveniently absent? Or do I swallow the bone, deep injury, the humiliation, and the terror, and instead execute the **, calculated, irreversible financial revenge I had always kept in reserve, ensuring that every single person who stood laughing over me, Vivian, Martha, and George, would be legally, financially, and permanently homeless by the end of the week, even if it meant sacrificing the last, fragile threads of my relationship with David? Tell me honestly, would you have demanded her immediate arrest, or would you have simply smiled through the pain and plotted their absolute, comprehensive financial ruin? To truly grasp why this wasn't just a clumsy moment, but the culmination of a decade of toxic abuse, you need to understand the elaborate, financial dependency trap my in-laws and daughter had built around me. I'm Elinor, 58, and I am the primary breadwinner, having started and sold a highly profitable logistics software firm 10 years ago. I am, by any measure, wealthy. My husband, David**, is a kind but fatally passive man. He works as a university professor and contributes maybe 5% of the household income, a fact he uses to justify his emotional neutrality. Our entire lifestyle, the sprawling house, the private schools for Vivian, the luxurious trips, was funded by my success. The toxicity started, or at least amplified, 3 years ago when my in-laws, Martha and George, moved into our detached guest cottage, claiming George's health required it. They were meant to pay a nominal rent, but that promise vanished instantly. They were not only living rent-free, but they demanded constant attention, driving me insane with their endless, trivial complaints about the grocery brands I bought and the yard work I hired others to do. They saw me as an open ATM and a live-in maid. My daughter, Vivian**, 26, should have moved out after college, but she remained firmly planted in her lavish third-floor suite. Vivian inherited her father's passivity, but married it with her grandmother Martha's venomous entitlement. She had developed an addiction to designer clothes and travel, running up crippling credit card debt that she fully expected me to quietly pay off. Her strategy was simple. When I refused her demands, she would launch into scathing, emotionally manipulative tirades, often in front of David, accusing me of hoarding the family money and being a cold-hearted banker. David, true to form, would just look at his shoes and say nothing, fearing the wrath of both his daughter and his parents. The pressure reached a breaking point this week. I had discovered Vivian had secretly taken out a massive $50,000 personal loan **, using the false pretense that the money was for a business investment, when in reality it was spent on a spontaneous, non-refundable trip to the Maldives. I had confronted her just an hour before the push, firmly stating that I would not pay the loan and that she needed to find a job immediately. The vase of flowers was my attempt to clear the air, to bring some beauty and peace back to the house after the argument. Vivian, clearly furious that her primary ATM was refusing service, had been lying in wait. The moment I started up the stairs, she saw her opportunity. A quick, physical demonstration of power and contempt, backed up by the smug presence of her beloved grandparents. The push was a message. * You are weak, we are strong, and you will not stop funding us. * As I lay there, every breath sharp with pain, I looked at their three faces united in cruel amusement. The silence of my husband, David, who hadn't appeared despite the crash, was the final confirmation. I wasn't just being financially exploited. I was being physically assaulted and emotionally gaslit by three people who had successfully turned my house into their personal kingdom. My decision crystallized in that moment. Calling the police would save my body but destroy my business legacy due to the public scandal, leave me tied to David during a brutal divorce, and still allow my in-laws to squat in the guest cottage until a lengthy legal process concluded no. Their punishment needed to be **, surgical, immediate, and financial **, targeting the very foundation of their security, the illusion that my wealth was their endless resource. I slowly, painstakingly pulled myself up, refusing to cry. I looked at Vivian, who was still chuckling. "You made your choice, Vivian," I whispered, my voice thick with pain but cold with resolve, "and now you will face the consequences you clearly deserve." I didn't wait for David. I didn't wait for an ambulance. I grabbed my car keys, drove myself to the emergency room, confirmed the severe hip bruising and sprain, and then drove straight to my attorney's office. My attorney, Mr. Chen **, a man who rarely smiled and never lost, was waiting. I told him everything: the push, the laughter, the in-laws' rent, free status, Vivian's debt, and David's passivity. I then told him to execute the ** contingency plan **, a set of fully prepared, sealed documents I had drafted years ago when the in-laws first moved in. The plan had three key components designed to create maximum, immediate, and irreversible shock. **, first. **, the **, eviction order ** for the guest cottage. Martha and George had a lease, yes, but it was structured as a monthly tenancy that required only 30 days' notice, which I was serving immediately. However, Mr. Chen was also tasked with obtaining a ** restraining order * against Martha and George based on the physical assault I had just sustained and their endorsement of it, which would allow me to legally demand their ** immediate removal * from the property by the sheriff's department based on the threat to my physical safety. The 30-day notice was legally served, but the restraining order was the fast-track nuclear option, asterisk asterisk second, asterisk asterisk, the asterisk asterisk, debt acquisition, asterisk asterisk. Mr. Chen, acting through a clean, invisible shell company, immediately acquired the asterisk asterisk $50,000 personal loan Vivian had taken out asterisk asterisk. I had tracked the loan details months ago. I now owned her debt, and I was going to call it in full immediately, with the full weight of commercial law behind me. Asterisk asterisk third, asterisk asterisk, the asterisk asterisk asset, shield asterisk asterisk. All remaining joint assets with David, liquid funds, stocks, and my original business sale profits were instantly transferred into an asterisk asterisk irrevocable trust asterisk asterisk for my sole benefit, shielding them from David's access and from any potential community property claims in the likely divorce, leaving him with only his meager university pension and his name on a mortgage he couldn't afford alone. I was sitting on the completed paperwork less than 12 hours after hitting the marble floor. The eviction notice was filed. The restraining order was approved based on the documented physical injury, and Vivian's debt was now fully mine. The financial trap had been sprung, and they had no idea. The next morning, I returned home, wearing a supportive brace but walking straight and tall. David was waiting, looking guilty and nervous, standing with Vivian and his parents, who were feigning concern. "Eleanor, darling, what happened? We heard a crash. Were you okay?" Martha chirped, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "I'm fine, Martha," I said, my voice cutting through her saccharine performance. "I just have a severe hip sprain. I didn't accuse anyone. I didn't yell. I looked directly at David, my passive, enabling husband. David, I'm serving you with divorce papers. You'll find the details outlining the division of assets, which are now largely protected within a private trust, on the dining room table. You can speak to your lawyer." David's face crumpled immediately, realizing the gravity of the asterisk asterisk asset, shield asterisk asterisk. But the real shock was yet to come. So that's the situation I was in. I had just initiated a divorce, shielded my assets, sustained a physical injury, and held the full legal power to financially destroy the three people standing in front of me, who still believed they were untouchable beneficiaries of my wealth. I had the sheriff's department on stand by to enforce the restraining order on my in-laws, and I had Vivian's $50,000 loan in my pocket, ready to recall. They were expecting a tearful breakdown, a reconciliation, or maybe a threat to call the police. They were not expecting a calm, financial execution. My choice was terrifying. Do I immediately escalate by bringing in the police to physically remove Martha and George and recall Vivian's debt, guaranteeing maximum drama and pain? Or do I take a step back and use the 30-day eviction period for Martha and George and the standard debt repayment period for Vivian, allowing them to slowly realize the gravity of their ruin and suffer the slow burn psychological torture of their impending homelessness and bankruptcy? Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have chosen the immediate physical removal and debt recall, or would you have chosen the slow burn psychological destruction? Seriously, let me know what choice you would have made right there. I chose the immediate physical removal and the surgical financial destruction. I couldn't bear the thought of them spending another minute in my house, laughing at my pain. The psychological victory had to be swift and total. I looked at Martha and George, who were whispering conspiratorially, thinking the divorce meant David would take control and they would stay. "Martha, George, I have already filed a restraining order against you both, based on the physical battery I suffered yesterday, which you both witnessed and encouraged. I produced 2 official-looking envelopes. Here is your copy. I have also officially served your 30-day notice to vacate the guest cottage, but due to the restraining order, you are required to leave the property immediately. George scoffed. Eleanor, you can't be serious. We live here. We'll just call David's lawyer. You can't put us out on the street. You're right, George. I can't, I said, my voice flat. I turned and walked toward the front door. But the sheriff's department can. They are waiting outside to enforce the restraining order. You have 10 minutes to collect any critical medications and your wallets before they escort you off the property. Anything else will be boxed and placed in secure storage, to be picked up at your expense. The sight of the 2 uniformed officers walking toward the front door, visible through the foyer window, instantly stripped the smugness from their faces. Martha shrieked, an undignified, piercing sound that cracked the solemnity of the room. George turned white. They were truly, physically trapped and facing public disgrace. They scurried upstairs, their royal stay ending in the most humiliating, abrupt way possible. With Martha and George gone, Vivian stood alone, tears of panic finally replacing her contempt. Mom, you can't be doing this. We are your family. Who cares about some fall? You have to pay my loan. I can't afford that payment. I finally looked at her, the daughter I had spoiled and loved, now reduced to a terrified debtor. I agree, Vivian, that payment is crippling. I pulled out a single, clean sheet of paper. The **debt recall notice ** from my shell company. That is why I purchased your loan yesterday. I am now your creditor, and as your creditor, I am ** recalling the full $50,000 principal plus accrued interest due in 48 hours. Vivian's panic turned to genuine terror, her shell of entitlement completely shattered. She had weaponized my wealth. I had turned her debt into her own personal guillotine. There was no negotiation, no pity. David, still sitting motionless, finally looked up, horror dawning in his eyes as he grasped the depth of my resolve. The fallout was complete and instant. Martha and George were forced to move into a cheap, uncomfortable motel, their social standing utterly destroyed. David, realizing he had enabled his parents and daughter into financial ruin, and was now facing a costly divorce alone, descended into a depressed fugue state. As for Vivian, she couldn't pay the $50,000. My shell company legally foreclosed on the collateral she had foolishly signed over an expensive sports car I had previously bought her, and then pursued her assets. She was forced to sell her clothes and jewelry just to make a dent. She finally had to get a minimum wage job, a crushing humiliation that she rightfully deserved. The experience, while devastating, broke her addiction to debt and entitlement, and she finally moved out of state, not speaking to me. The divorce from David was clean and relatively fast, thanks to the ** irrevocable trust **, which protected my legacy. I sold the massive, toxic house, bought a smaller, beautiful home by the water, and finally found peace. I used the money recovered from Vivian's debt to fund a small scholarship program for single mothers going back to school. I may have sacrificed the perfect family unit, but I saved my sanity, my financial independence, and my life. Every time I touch my hip, I am reminded of the price of standing up to toxic entitlement, and I have absolutely no regrets about the financial destruction I unleashed. The cost of a hip sprain was the complete, necessary, and irreversible ruin of the people who laughed when I fell. Like this video if you think the ** contingency plan * was the only way to save myself. Subscribe for more stories about financial warfare and family rescue. And please, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section below. Do you think David will ever apologize for his passivity? I'll see you all in the next story.